Hello, and welcome to Tiffany Teach Tuesday. It has been a while since I've done a Tiffany Teach Tuesday. For the lack of knowledge, we shall perish, is a saying that the old folks, the good book says. And today, I want to talk about how do we expect people to do better if they don't understand what is going on. Remember, the government can control the people if we are misinformed. It is our responsibility to get the facts. It will be discussed today how the tariffs is affecting our real estate and prices of goods. I want to start with what is a tariff? A tariff is a tax that a government imposes on imported goods and services, serving to raise their prices. How does tariffs work? A tariff is a fee added to the cost of goods as it's entering the country. For example, if a 10% tariff on a product, the cost is $100, would be a $10 extra charge for the tariff. So, um, I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've done these live, so bear with me. Who pays for these imports? The imports are typically the importer typically pays for the tariff that is imposed by the government through customs, and the cost is absorbed by them. So they take these tariffs and add it on. So the importer, the person that's importing the product of good, takes these tariffs and add them to our cost of goods that we buy. So a typical bottle of lotion would cost, say, $5, but with a 10% tariff added on that increases the price, they're going to charge you $5.10 or 15 cents more for that product that you typically would have gotten for just $5. The purpose of government imposing tariffs is to use the tariffs to make imported goods more expensive, which encourages us to buy domestic products. However, that tariff being imposed really causes a problem for the companies and actually our country, because the tariffs can lead to retaliations from other countries, causing them to increase their tariff, which happened in Canada and Mexico. Like, our lumber is more expensive because this tariff had been put into place, which has a direct effect on the housing industry with the building. Now, the president stated he was imposing this tax to bring jobs back to America. However, that probably would never happen in the way it used to be in the early 1900s. And there's a couple of reasons why it wouldn't happen. One, we don't really have the infrastructure. We don't have the plants in place to build and manufacture things in America. That's the first major issue. So you can't increase the tariff to bring jobs back when we don't have companies to manufacture and provide jobs to make these products and services. So that's a problem. Secondly, we don't have the labor force to do the jobs. So let's think about this. We went to a country that started importing all our products and goods instead of exporting things to other countries to make money off those products and goods. So they took out the schools, trades, things on how to stealing, building steel, welding, these things that also reduces the need to import these products and goods. So the American people have gone to selling products that are made in other countries and providing services that were products that were made in other countries. The few companies that make products in America are having issues with finding quality workers because the people don't have the skill set. The people have become comfortable due to the pandemic of not working like we used to, because they want to stay at home, they want to work from home. But how can you manufacture or build something or do anything if you're at home working when you have to go into office? And secondly, they're receiving a lot of government assistance to help them, so they don't want to go to work. So the companies now, even if they were to bring back the type of jobs that are being done over in other countries to make products and goods and services, due to the lack of workforce, even they brought them back, they would use AI and robotics to fulfill these jobs. So people still aren't going to have jobs. And they have started using AI and robotics to fill these jobs. I don't have the clip today, but I do have a clip on Instagram where in Alabama, they have a robotics taking people orders at a coffee shop, which now they don't have to worry about, as they call it, human capital to even place your order for coffee shops. Because I have a crazy Tuesday morning, I wasn't able to get the clip to post it. But when I come back on live next month, I will make sure that I post that clip so you all will be able to see it. But a couple of issues that are now happening due to the tariff is, one, the price of goods and services have increased for us, the consumer. Food, lumber, supplies, tools, clothing, cars, everything has drastically increased because of this tariff. In 2024, the U.S. import goods and services valued at about $3.36 trillion, which represented about 14% of the gross domestic product. That means roughly 14% of what U.S. produced and consumed was supplied through imports, right? Now, since it was only 14%, I'm still confused why there has been a big issue and a push about making America great again by increasing our tariffs and forcing these companies to come back. The things they need to come back is bringing jobs, like service jobs, phone calls, telemarketing jobs, all those things that they have outsourced. But they're still not going to do it because guess what? Now AI can answer the phone. So I don't even have to worry about even outsourcing it out the country. I can outsource it away from human capital and use technology to do jobs that humans do. That's a problem, my people. If y'all haven't realized yet, it's a problem. Secondly, increasing the cost of goods have caused builders to repair builders and repairs and material for repairs to increase. This caused the builders and the developers to now have to increase the prices of home and rentals. That affects us directly, this tariff. Now, it's bad enough that the prices are increasing, but when these prices that are for our food and services, but now you're telling us that our prices to live is increasing. Everything that happens in this country has a direct effect on real estate. A tariff, how has no shit? The tariff, even though because of the tariff, we're now in a recession. And eventually, by the time the president gets out of office, we will be in a depression. But let me explain to you what a recession looks like. A recession is a significant and prolonged decline in economy activities, characterized by decrease in the gross domestic product. So eventually we have falling unemployment rates, reducing buying and sales of goods, and our GDP is going to eventually decrease. We are in unemployment. We have low unemployment rates right now. The government has furloughed 4,000 workers. He's fired so many people. People don't even have jobs. And those individuals may not even get their jobs back because what they're doing is looking for technology like AI and robotics to replace those individual people. Second, household income is falling, but there's because of inflation. Even though you make more money, your money is not worth as much as it used to be. It's happening now. So when they say we're not in a recession, we're in one. We're trying to prohibit from getting into a depression. Decrease in consumers and business spending. People are eventually going to stop spending because they don't even have the resources to spend. It has nothing to do with people like, oh, people are still spending because it hasn't clicked to them yet that their dollars are not going as far as it used to. But when it does, by the time it really clicks into the American people, we'll be in a depression and we're a day late, a dollar short. So how is this affecting you, and how will it affect you if it has not already affected you? Home ownership is hard to obtain now, but rent is continuing to increase. The cost of rent is going up. Rent is higher than a mortgage, even with the interest rates being 6 to 8%. If you can't afford to purchase a home, but you can't afford the rent, how are you going to be able to live? And now we're going to get back to, again, making America great again. Back 100 years, they had what they call multi-generational living. That means 2 or more families living in one single unit. So a 3-bedroom apartment may be housing 3 different families, and each family having their own rooms. There's no more, I can afford this place by myself. Now I have to have somebody buy a home for me. And if in cities like Chicago, where we have multi-generational buildings, we can afford to, people maybe pooling together to buy multi-unit buildings, and the sister live on one floor with her family, and the other sister live on the second floor with her family, or the mother or the cousins or whatever. They're pooling their funds together to buy a building. Excuse me. So the whole family have a place to stay. That is occurring. So home ownership can be affordable with the multi-generational living. So I was conversing with one of my vendors the other day, and he made a statement about people can't buy houses because the interest rates are so high. And I informed him, when I bought my house 20 years ago, my interest rate was 6.5%. The interest rates being 6 to 8% is normal interest rates up until the recession, when the economy bottom dropped out of it, until Obama got into office to drop interest rates to increase a purchase of people purchasing homes. The interest rates are always at 6.5% or greater. When my parents bought their home 50 years ago, their interest rate is 14% with 20% down. I had to put 0% down. So he like, but now to buy a home, you need 6.5% with 3.5%. So he like, well, how can people afford these homes with the interest rates being so high? How would they even afford it with it being 20%? And I told him, back then, we didn't have internet, we didn't have cable, we didn't have Uber Eats, we weren't taking flights out the country. We were saving our money and doing things. Well, I was taking flights then, but because I like to travel. My parents travel, but we didn't go out to dining a lot. It was like once a week after we got out of church, we went out to breakfast as a family. But most of the time, majority of the time, my parents cook. I still to this day now cook all the time. So what I'm saying is, sometimes you have to make a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain in order to get where you need to be. If you're struggling now paying rent, you will eventually struggle even harder, and you may have to bring someone in to help you cover your expenses. But if you start saving and cutting back on your spending, you'll be able to make it through this troubling time. So I'm not going to take too much more of your time. I just want to tell you, thank you for always tuning in to Tiffany Teach Tuesday. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe Art Property Management so you don't miss out on my Tiffany Teach Tuesdays. Have a wonderful day.